Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is my makeup collection and inventory series for 2024. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today's video is going to be one of 6 installments. I'll be reusing this intro for all of them to show you my entire makeup collection in terms of foundation, concealer, bronzer, highlighter, blush, and lipstick. And we're gonna do swatches. So I'm just reusing this, so I'll have some text on the screen to let you know which installment it is you're watching today. Let's just get to it because these videos can be very long. In case you're new here, you've never been to my channel before, then maybe it's good to know who I am and what I like doing on this channel. My name is Maaike, I live in the Netherlands. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and this greatly influences how I feel about makeup. I have been reviewing makeup for more than a decade. I love trying Essences and Catrice and getting the use out of my makeup. So if that's something you're interested in as well, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. This is part 2 of my 2024 makeup collection and inventory. I'm going to be taking you through all of my concealers in today's video, and this is going to include some swatches so that you can see what these all look like on my skin. If I do forget to say the names of any of these, make sure to check out the description box down below, because that's where I will tell you a little bit more about which ones they are and what the shade names are like. I don't always know this from the top of my head, and I just want to focus on filming the video rather than like, oh, what shade is this? It's going to take too long otherwise. So let me lay it all out for you, and then we can talk about these. So there we have it, all of my concealers. There's quite a lot, as you can tell. And as you can see, I have quite a few that are from the drugstore or K-beauty brands, because I don't think you need to spend a lot of money on a good concealer if you don't want to. I've got a couple of potted things, so we'll start up there and then we'll just make our way through here. As I'm filming this, I'm filming things a little bit out of order, so it could be that there are things in here that I say are new to me because I only got them the other day, but I'm filming this like a month in advance because now I have the time. I only have 2 true corrector things. I have a peachy corrector and I have a pinky corrector. This one is sadly discontinued, but it is one of my favorites. It's the Peripera ink corrector in the shade Peach, which I'll swatch it here so you can see right there. That's what that shade looks like. And then I have the Catrice Under Eye Brightener in the pink shade. They now do this in a warmer tone as well. This is in light rose. They now do a yellowy tone as well. And this is like a really nice brighter pinky peach. I kept this over a Charlotte Tilbury one that I liked okay, but I didn't love it. So when this came out and it worked better for me, I liked it so much better. So you can just see the difference there. So this is when my blue circles are really bluing, and this is for like the more lighter days and if I want to brighten something up. I have the RMS Corrector, the Uncoverup in shade 00, which it's a little bit yellow for my liking. Ooh, and this has gotten a little bit dry. Maybe if I can break through that barrier, yeah, it works just fine. So warm it up with a finger, people, whenever you try these kind of things. And this is really lovely as well. I really like this. And it sort of does, if I use these, like with this, I don't need any sort of color correcting because the yellow will already do a little bit of that. And I don't think you can really see it, but it's right there. Then the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I mean, look at that dent. I used to love this thing, and I haven't used it in so long. It's still really creamy. It doesn't smell weird either, which is a win. And I'll pop that here. See, it's just a little bit lighter. It's just a little too matte because this, like, look at that. This is just so much more shine than the NARS one does. So I think I like the NARS one a little less now. And then these just are very fingerprinty. I have 2 more potted concealer. I have one from RMS Beauty. This is their Corrector, and the Glossier Stretch concealer. We all know about my love for this. This is in the lightest shade G12. And I actually use this because this doesn't have a lot of coverage. I tend to use this over that Peripera corrector, because this doesn't do a lot of correcting for me. It's just really nicely dewy, and yeah, if I compare it to the NARS, I think I would keep the Glossier over that as well. So, and this was really pretty as well. I haven't used it much, not as much as the other ones, but I did really enjoy this REM Beauty one. And I think it's sort of like, if the Glossier and NARS had a baby, we would get to the REM Beauty one. And see, this is also a little bit more peachy already. So, ooh, that's probably why I liked it so much. In fact, the REM Beauty line does have a foundation now, I think. But when I bought this, there wasn't one yet. And then the makeup artist was like, oh, you could also use this as a foundation. And I think it does work really well. It's a bit more peach. So with that, I wouldn't use the color corrector. And it's indeed, like, it's a little less dewy than the RMS and the Glossier, but not as matte as the NARS. All right, so then we have the actual ink concealer from Peripera. Again, discontinued. This just looks really cute. It's in the same packaging as they do for their ink velvets. Can you see this if I do it here? Yeah. So I'll try and make sure these swatches are in. It's a little bit yellow, so I'm not sure if I were to keep this, because I have some other concealers now from K-beauty brands that I like perhaps just as much. Same thing for Kiko. This is the this was from a limited edition collection actually that I tried, I think at the end of 2022, and I haven't reached for this since. But because I wanted to make sure I had a Kiko concealer on hand, I decided to keep this last time. Don't think I had to. Then this is one I still need to try. The Lasting Perfection Hydrating Serum Concealer from Collection. I'm not sure I'm gonna like this. I bought the matching foundation. And this is very light. And I'm usually not that big a fan of very light, like highlightery like concealers anymore. And this isn't even the lightest shade, because this is Porcelain 2, according to the tube. Oh well. The Kosas I have already reviewed over on the blog. That's where you can, I'll make sure to link you to my concealer category over on the blog, so that everything I have reviewed, you can see how it sits on my under eye, and you can see everything as well. The Revealer Concealer in shade 1.5C. And I really did like this. I just think there's some clean beauty brands I like a little bit better. You can just see, compared to the collection one, how yellow it is. I prefer it if it's a little bit more pink, but I did already review this. This was something I loved in 2022, and then I just didn't reach for it for 2023 at all. The MAC Studio Fix 24-Hour Smooth Wear in NW15, and I actually felt that this was a touch too dark for me when it dried down. And also a little bit too, like not too dark, but it dries down to more of a matte finish, which I don't love. So this one, I'm not sure yet what I want to do with it, because I did like it enough. Remember what I said, Peripera does other things as well. This is the Double Long Wear Cover Concealer. Is this, what shade is this in? Pure Ivory. And I do really enjoy a K-beauty concealer from time to time. So yeah, I think that if I were to, like, this is that first one, like, it is a much more yellow shade, but sometimes these yellow shades can be good and you don't really need a corrector at the same time. Something that is too dark for me, unfortunately, is the Forever Skin Correct from Dior. I can make it work in the summertime. Like, summer season is when this shade works for me the best. So I do want to keep this around because I love the formula, and this thing is huge. Then I'm not even sure why I still have this. The Cover Up Concealer from H&M. I did a full face of H&M in 2022, and I haven't really gone back to any of those products ever since. But this was a good product. I did like it. It's just forgotten in my makeup collection. The only concealer I keep around for a very specific purpose, the Nabla Close-Up Concealer. This is the only full coverage concealer I own to do cut creases with. How often do I do a cut crease, you ask? Once or twice a year, so I don't use this a lot. It's just a bit too heavy duty for my liking. My favorite K-Beauty concealer is this guy, the Same Cover Perfection Tip Concealer, which I got in a slightly lighter shade because the first one I got was far too dark. And this is actually really nice. This is pretty much spot on for me. So, yes, I know a lot of them are too yellow, but that's not on me. That's on the brands for not offering anything that's super pink. Like the only thing that's a little bit pinky peach is this guy right here. Then the Rare Beauty Under Eye Brightener in the shade Light. I did really enjoy this. It has that weird ball. I'm not sure how this swatches because it's not like the best. It's not the same with the doe foot. But this is really pretty, very hydrating. Did really enjoy that shade. This one, I have to confess, I still need to review this, and I bought it almost a year ago. This is by Milk Makeup. I can't read the name, the Future Fluid. And I remember really liking it when I tried it in store, and then I just haven't really gotten a use out of it. But this is, again, I think a pretty good shade for me. Yeah, so I think I'll like that. So this is something I'm going to have to test out. This I tested out, and it's a bit like the MAC, a bit too drying. The Rose Ink one. I've had this with some more hyped up concealers, actually, in recent years, where they just haven't quite worked for me. This is LX030. That's the shade. And then the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I did like this. I bought it for a full face of e.l.f. that I did at the start of 2023. Have I gone back to this? Of course not. And I need to turn my hand around because I don't have enough space anymore. Else it's going to get into my sweater. So I do like the shade of this. And I'd like the formula quite a lot. Even though the original camo concealer was just terrible on my dry skin. But this was okay. So I need to review this because I don't think I have done that yet. Same thing with the Kiko Full Coverage Concealer. This was a bit too yellow, I think. It's light enough, but too yellow. Ooh, look at how yellow that is compared to the other one. But I still need to try this one as well. I have bought it for a full face of Kiko that I did at the end of 2023. I always want to make sure I have a Catrice concealer on hand because I do regular videos with the brand. This is their latest one that was okay for me. This is the Cover and Care Concealer. But this wasn't great. Like, this wasn't the best concealer ever for me. I like the shade. The shade is nice, but the formula was not quite it. I just have it to have a Catrice concealer that is quite recent that I do enjoy. Then this guy, the Beautiful Skin Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. This I really enjoy. I think it's a really nice concealer. It's a little bit more like that peachy pink that I enjoy. Really nice shade. Love the formula. But we're going out of order because I feel this Revolution concealer is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury. I don't think they're the same shade, but formula-wise, these things are spot on. Like, this is even a bit pinkier and peachier than the Charlotte Tilbury one. Like, it looks, shade-wise, it's even quite similar here. Then one I have yet to review again. This is the Luminée Blur Longwear Concealer. I got this because I loved the Luminée foundation I tried last year, and this is very light though. Wasn't aware that it was going to be this light, but hope it works. Maybe a bit too matte for my liking. And at the same time, I bought this, the Wonder Match Lumi Concealer. I found out that they also do a Wonder Match line in their concealers. This is a Polish drugstore brand, and I hope this is a nice shade. Again, one I have yet to review. Ooh, even lighter and a little bit more yellow. Another one I still need to review, the Stay With Me Concealer from Kruidvat, which it looks a bit dinky in the bottle here, but that's again a nice pinky peach, and it's quite light. So I'm very excited for this one. The NYX Bear With Me Concealer, this I liked okay, but I get so much product when I use the pump. It's way too much. I need far less than this. So I don't like how I can't control how much comes out. And it's just a little bit light for my liking as well. Like, I just don't really like these very highlightery kind of concealers anymore on myself. Then some more drugstore here. The Stay all 16 hour from Essence. I think this has been reformulated and now it says 24 hours or 14 hours. Don't remember. But this is one of my all-time favorite concealers. And it's very, very cheap at the drugstore. So I do like this a lot. You can just go through this really, really quickly. So I haven't tried that new reformulated version yet because I still have this and I just need to use it up before I buy another one. But like Catrice, I keep Essence around because I do a lot of videos with them. This was interesting to me. Again, something I bought and then didn't review. The Super Stay Activewear Concealer from Maybelline. Not sure this is my cup of tea texture-wise, but I just thought it looked interesting. It's quite light. A little too light. It's almost white. I'm gonna try and keep the ones I have to review still apart. One I loved and that like just came into my favorites, end of year favorites list in 2023 is the Tower 28 Swipe Concealer. And this is really pretty on. I love the way this looks. Again, quite yellow. Quite yellow. Ooh, I do see now. Look at that. Like the Guidefoot one started so light. Look at how much darker that has dried up. I haven't used that one on my face yet, so I didn't know it would do that. And the same thing with like these two from Charlotte Tilbury and Makeup Revolution. The Charlotte one stays true to color, but the Makeup Revolution one actually gets a little bit deeper. This guy. It's still in the packaging and it's still sealed because it's a backup. This is my favorite Kiko concealer, but because I still need to review this one, I figured I would keep this one open and keep this one closed. But I did already review this over on my blog when I first tried it. It's in shade 2. I love this thing to pieces. And then two new to me products. I picked these up when I was in Paris. The Gucci concealer. I have heard so many people raving about it and I was like, I'll buy it. This is in 17W. It's a very yellow leaning concealer line though. This was the only thing that was even slightly pink. And it's pink compared to these things, so that's okay. Like it's a really nice shade actually. It's very nice hydrating formula. So can't wait to play around with that. But the one I'm most excited for is the High Glam from Natasha Denona. This is very pink, as you can see. It's in R2. And I can't wait to put this on my eyes. Oh, look at that. Such a nice undertone. Like, look at how yellow the Gucci is compared to the Natasha Denona. But yeah, this is what I saw a lot with a lot of my concealers, but with concealer ranges in general. It's very sort of yellow or peach, but nothing is very pink, which I actually prefer on myself if it has a bit more pink, which is why I went with 17W in the end, because I think she tried 18C on me first. And I was like, do you have something that's a bit more pink? And she's like, oh, I think this one looks okay. I'm like, I just prefer it a little bit better if it has a bit more pink to it. So that's why I can't wait for the Natasha Denona. Both are very sort of hydrating formulas. So yeah, this is what all of those concealers swatch like. So that is my little concealer collection. I really hope you enjoyed watching my makeup inventory. Part 2, I will still be doing blushes, bronzers, and highlighters for you, as well as all of my lipsticks, because those are categories I just like to go through before I declutter my makeup collection, so that I really have a feel for what's going on and whether there's anything that is too old that I might want to get rid of and how things swatch and do that. So I first want to sort of wrap my head around my collection, and then when I get to the actual declutters, I can take decisions quite quickly and I can keep the declutters moving a lot better than when I'm also swatching in those videos. So yes, I hope this was useful for you to see all of my concealers swatched side by side. And yeah, that's it for me for today. I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more, and then I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.